Good morning, students. In yesterday's class, we have seen the structure of Indian banking system. Okay, in structure of Indian banking system, we have seen the powerful authority of India who controls all the banks in India is the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, under the Reserve Bank of India, there was this banking institutions. There were commercial banks, regional banks and cooperative banks. Okay, under the control of commercial bank there was private sector banks and public sector banks. Public sector banks के under State Bank of India and its associate. There are 7 associate bank of State Bank of India and nationalized banks were there. There are 21 nationalized banks. Okay, and in private sector banks we have Indian banks and foreign banks. Now Indian banks are those banks which have their head office in India, okay, and who are under the control of Reserve Bank of India. And foreign banks are their head office is outside India, it is overseas, and whatever the management is there done, okay, management control regulations are done from there, from outside. Okay, it is not under the control of Reserve Bank of India, but they have their branches in India. Okay, then the second is regional bank. Okay, now this regional bank are those banks whose main intention is to provide the rural areas of our country. Okay, then the third one is cooperative bank. Under cooperative bank, now this cooperative banks operates under the control of Reserve Bank of India, but they have to register themselves with the State Cooperative Societies Act. Okay, now under cooperative bank there are urban banks and urban cooperative banks and rural cooperative credit institutions. Now this urban cooperative societies or cooperative banks which are there, they will operate in urban areas. Okay, they will develop only the urban area. So under urban cooperative bank we have urban cooperative societies. Okay, and in rural cooperative credit societies we have. Now these banks will operate in the rural area of our country. They will help to develop these weaker sections and the priority sectors of our India. Now which are the priority sectors? Agricultural sectors. In agricultural sectors we have farmers, artisans, the small scale industrial sectors. Okay, so they will operate for this these areas. Okay, under rural cooperative credit institutions we have state cooperative banks, central cooperative bank which is also known as district cooperative bank, and the third one is primary cooperative credit societies. Okay, now when you talk about the structure of Indian banking system, as you all know, Reserve Bank of India is the apex banks. Now when you talk about Reserve Bank of India, it will be having three categories, that is APEC institutions, banking institutions, APEC institutions, banking institutions and development banks. Now the structure which you have learned yesterday was बैंकिंग इंस्टीट्यूशन. ओके, आप लोगों ने कल जो पढ़ा ये वो था बैंकिंग इंस्टीट्यूशन. इन बैंकिंग इंस्टीट्यूशंस यू हैव ऑल दिस स्ट्रक्चर. ओके, जैसे कि कमर्शियल बैंक्स, रीजनल रूरल बैंक्स एंड कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज विल कम अंडर बैंकिंग इंस्टीट्यूशन. बट देर आर अदर इंस्टीट्यूशंस ऑल्सो, दोज आर अपेक्स इंस्टीट्यूशंस एंड डेवलपमेंटल बैंक. So today we are going to see what is APEC institutions and developmental banks. Yesterday we have seen banking institutions. Now as you all know, Reserve Bank of India is the APEC institution of Indian banking system. Okay, it was established in 1935 under the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. Okay, so these banks have a control, have a wide power, have a supervision over the banking system in India. So there are some institutions, banking institutions, which help which help to develop the particular areas. Okay, they are institutions which will provide loans to the industrial sectors, they will provide loans to the import and export, they will also provide loans to the agricultural sector, housing sector of India. Okay, so these institutions are under the control of Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so in India there are various banking institutions which was established post independence era. Post independence मतलब after independence. The structure of Indian institution. Okay, ये जो अपेक्स institutions है इंडिया में, they I will explain you in detail. Okay, so this is the apex banking institution. Under that we have Industrial Development Bank of India. एक minute. Under that we have Industrial Development Bank of India. Under Industrial Development Bank of India we have SIDBI, that is Small Industrial Development Bank of India. Under SIDBI we have Mudra. Okay, those are the Mudra banks. Then you have NABARD. NABARD is also related to the agricultural sector in India. Then you have Exim Bank. Exim Bank is related to the import or export in India. Then you have IIBI. IIBI is related to the Industrial Development Bank of India or Industrial Investment Bank of India. And the last one is NHB. It is National Housing Bank. Okay, now these institutions also play a very important role. Okay, so we'll see first the Industrial Development Bank of India. As the name suggests, this bank provides the finance or provides this banks provide finance to the industrial development. Okay, so that's why this name is there, that is Industrial Development Bank of India. It is the banking institution which was incorporated in 1st July 1964 and it has its headquarters in Mumbai as a subsidiary of RBI. Okay, this bank was wholly owned and a subsidiary of Reserve Bank of India. Now, this Reserve Bank of India is also holding some banks. So those are these institutions. Okay. So here, Industrial Development Bank is incorporated under the Industrial Development Bank of India Act. Okay. The main objective of this bank is to provide assistance to large and medium industries and indirect assistance to the tiny and small enterprises. Okay, ये जो बैंक्स हैं उनका मेन इंटेंशन यही है कि मीडियम एंड लार्ज स्केल जो इंडस्ट्रीज है उनको डायरेक्टली फाइनेंस प्रोवाइड करना एंड जो स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रीज है हमारे कंट्री में जो ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं उनको इनडायरेक्टली फिनेंस करना. ओके, सो IDBI provide assistance to small, medium and large scale industries in public, private and joint and cooperative sectors. Okay, so here the IDBI जो है it is directly linked with RBI and its share capital was transferred to the central government. So here since 1986, the authorized capital of IDBI has been raised to rupees 1000 crores. Okay, and it was increased to rupees 2000 crores. Now these funds are mostly for the purpose of for the development of medium, small and large scale industries in India. So when it comes to small industries, it is Small Industrial Development Bank of India, SIDBI. Okay, in April 1990, the Small Industrial Development Bank of India came into existence. Okay, this SIDBI was fully owned subsidiary of Industrial Development Bank of India. Okay, it is under the control of Industrial Development Bank of India. Now this to establish SIDBI अगर होना है, then the authorized capital of the bank is rupees 250 crores and it can be increased up to 1000 crores. Okay, now this banks is mostly concerned with the needs of the small scale industrial unit. Okay, तो इनका जो मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव है to refinance loans granted by the other financial institutions, discounting as well as rediscounting of bills arising out of the sale of capital produced by small manufacturers. Okay, then equity assistance by way of seed capital, rediscounting of short-term trade bills in small-scale sectors, and resource support to institutions concerned with development of 551 यूनिट. ओके, तो मेन इन ये जो बैंक्स हैं उनका मेन पर्पस क्या है? टू provide finance to the small industrial sectors. Okay, capital provide करना. So SIDBI resources were augmented through the share capital and the sources of fund comprise of loans from IDBI. ये जो SIDBI है, it is under the control of IDBI, that is Industrial Development Bank of India. Short term and long term funds are provided by the RBI, and this loan is transferred to the SIDBI. Okay, now this loan from the government of India and the Japan and Australian Development Bank of India, etc., they provide loans to such small scale industries which are operating in our country. Then the next one is NABARD, that is National Bank for एग्रीकल्चरल एंड रूरल डेवलपमेंट. ओके, ये जो बैंक है, द मेन इंटेंशन ऑफ दिस बैंक इज टू डेवलप द एग्रीकल्चरल एंड रूरल एरिया ऑफ आवर कंट्री. सो इट वाज इस्टेब्लिश्ड इन द ईयर 12 July 1982. Okay, so NABARD came into existence by transferring the agricultural credit functions of RBI and refinancing functions of the Agricultural Refinance and Development Corporation, that is ARDC. ये जो फुल फॉर्म है ये बहुत important है, they may come for your objective questions. Okay, so NABARD was initially set up with a ₹100 crores and it was paid up capital. The stock was at 10,580 crores on 31st March 2018. Okay, ये जो NABARD है इसका मेन इंटेंशंस क्या है? इट हैज़ द ट्री टायर नीड्स ऑफ द एग्रीकल्चरल एंड रूरल डेवलपमेंट. what are the three tier needs? They are credit functions, developmental functions, and regulatory functions. Okay, the state cooperative banks, regional rural banks, state land development banks, commercial banks get refinance facility from this NABARD. Okay, so NABARD act as an agent between government and the RBI, coordinates the operations of the rural credit agencies. Okay, then you have Import Export Bank, that is Export Import Bank of India, Exim Bank. Okay, now when you see the word Exim, you come to know this bank is related to the development of import and export in India. So Export and Import Bank of India was established in January 1982 as a statutory corporation only owned by the government of India. Okay, this bank is owned by the government of India. Now, Exim Bank was established under Export Bank of India Act 1981. Okay, and the Export Bank of India is the premier export finance institution of the country that seeks to build value by integrating foreign trade and investment with economic rise of the India. The objective of Export Import Bank in India was for providing financial assistance to the exporters and importers, undertake finance and export for technical consultancy service, and render international merchant banking services in India. Okay, तो ये जो बैंक है mostly it is related to the operations which take place in the import and export. Okay, so it also provides services with a viewpoint of providing countries international trade. It is the functioning as the principal financial institutions for coordinating working of the institutions engaged with the financing export and import of goods. ओके। सो ये जो बैंक्स हैं मोस्टली इट विल हेल्प टू डेवलप द इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड एंड इंटरनेशनल मार्केट्स ऑफ द कंट्री. Next is Industrial Investment Bank of India. Now दिस बैंक्स ओके, ये जो इंडस्ट्रियल इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक्स जो है इट वाज रिकंस्ट्रक्शन कॉरपोरेशन बैंक ऑफ इंडिया विच वाज सेट अप इन 1971 with the view to provide agency for rehabilitation of sick industrial unit was renamed as Indian Reconstitution Bank of India, that is IRBI. okay, IRBI का मेन इंटेंशन क्या था, जो हमारी कंट्री में सिक इंडस्ट्रियल यूनिट है उनको डेवलप करना. ओके, विद द इफेक्ट फ्रॉम मार्च 1985 इंडस्ट्रियल इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड ओके was set up as the company under the Companies Act 1956 okay in March 1997. It came into being by converting the Industrial Reconstitution Bank of India, that is IIBI, is a company which is fully owned by the government of India. It is the principal credit and reconstruction institution for rehabilitating sick and closed industrial unit in the public, joint and cooperative sectors, and those unit in private sectors whose management has been taken over by the Industrial Development and Regulation Act. ओके, ये इनका जो मेन इंटेंशन क्या है, जो जो हमारे कंट्री में सिक इंडस्ट्रियल यूनिट है या जो इंडस्ट्रियल यूनिट जो बंद पड़ गए हैं उनको रिकॉन्स्टिट्यूट करना, रिकंस्ट्रक्ट करना इनका मेन इंटेंशन है. सो द मेजर फंक्शंस ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया आर: first one, to provide financial assistance in the form of short, medium and long term loans, demand loans, working capital facilities, equity participation, asset credit, equipment finance, etc. okay, then investing in capital market instruments like shares, debentures, bonds and also money market instruments. Then underwriting and extending guarantees, providing leasing and hire purchase finance, then providing consultancy and merchant banking services, guaranteeing loans and deferred payment on behalf of industrial concerns. Okay, so IIBI act as an agent of the central and state government, RBI and State Bank of India and other financial institutions. Okay, it can provide schemes for the reconstruction and development and undertake development activities of such by providing infrastructural facilities, raw material, consultancy, managerial and merchant banking services for reconstruction and development. ओके, सो ये जो बैंक्स है, ये इंडस्ट्रियल इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, इसका मेन इंटेंशन क्या है कि जो जो हमारे कंट्री में यूनिट्स है, सिक यूनिट्स है या क्लोज हुए, उनको इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड करना, उनका रॉ मटेरियल प्रोवाइड करना, उनको कंसल्टेंसी सर्विस प्रोवाइड करना या मैनेजरियल सर्विस प्रोवाइड करना एंड मर्चेंट बैंकिंग सर्विसेज जैसे कि लोन प्रोवाइड करना, ये सब काम किसका है, सो दैट देयर इज रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ दिस इंडस्ट्रियल यूनिट. तो ये दिस इज द मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ Industrial Investment Bank of India. And the next one is National Housing Bank. Okay, ये National Housing Bank was set up under the recommendations of the chairman of Dr. C. Rangarajan, okay, the deputy governor. Okay, the later RBI examined the proposal and recommendation set up for the National Housing Bank as an autonomous housing institution, housing finance institution. Okay, so this ये जो बैंक है it was established in the year 1987 as wholly owned subsidiary of RBI. Okay, it this housing National Housing Bank as an apex banking institution in the area of housing finance. Okay, हाउसिंग जो जो कंस्ट्रक्शंस होते हैं उनको फाइनेंस प्रोवाइड करने का काम किसका है? नेशनल हाउसिंग बैंक. ओके, so the basic functions of housing bank is to operate the principal agency to promote housing finance institutions in both local and regional level, and also to provide finance and support to such institutions. Okay, so the objectives were to promote a sound and healthy and viable and cost effective housing finance system, to cater to the all segments of the population, and to integrate the housing finance system with overall finance system. Okay, to promote a network of dedicated housing finance institutions to adequate level to serve various regions and different income group. Okay, then argument resources for the sectors and channelize them for housing, to make housing credit more affordable, to regulate activities of housing finance companies based on regulatory and supervisory authority derived under the act, to encourage argumentations of supply of buildable land and also building materials for housing, and to upgrade the housing stock in the country. Okay, to encourage public agencies to emerge as a facilitators and suppliers of service land for housing. तो ये जो हाउसिंग नेशनल हाउसिंग बैंक है इसका मेन पर्पस क्या है? सो दैट देर इज़ डेवलपमेंट ऑफ हाउसिंग इन आर कंट्री. ओके, तो हाउसिंग के लिए जो जो क्रेडिट लगता है, जो जो लोन लगता है, जो जो मटेरियल लगता है, लैंड लगता है, दिस विल बी प्रोवाइडेड बाय द नेशनल हाउसिंग बैंक ऑफ इंडिया. एंड देन मुद्रा बैंक. ओके, ये जो माइक्रो यूनिट डेवलपमेंट एंड रीफाइनेंसिंग एजेंसी बैंक मुद्रा बैंक जो है वो इट विल बी कमिंग अंडर द कंट्रोल ऑफ सिडबी, दैट इज स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया. जो दिस मुद्रा वॉज रजिस्टर्ड एज अ कंपनी in March 2015 under the Companies Act 9 2013, and non-banking finance institution with RBI on 7th April 2015. Mudra was launched on 8th April 2015. So Mudra was initially formed as a whole subsidiary of Small Industrial Development Bank of India, with 100% being capital being contributed by SIDBI. Okay, so it is under the control of SIDBI. So here Mudra is having presently a authorized capital of rupees 1000 crores and paid up capital of rupees 750 crore, fully subscribed by SIDBI. Okay, so Mudra was formed primarily with an objective of developing micro enterprises in our country. Okay, by extending various support including financial in the form of refinancing to achieve the goal of funding the unfunded industrial units. Okay, they also provide credit facilities to such unit. Okay, this agency would be responsible for developing and refinancing all micro enterprises sector by supporting the financial institutions which are in the business of lending to the micro and small business entities engaged in manufacturing, trading and service activities. Okay, so Mudra would partner with the banks and then mutual funds and other lending institutions at state level and regional level to provide microfinance support to the micro enterprise sectors in the country. जैसे कि हमारे कंट्री में छोटे छोटे बिजनेसमैन्स है. ओके, दे डोंट हैव दैट मच कवरेज, दे आर वेरी स्मॉल आर्टिशियंस, जैसे कि स्मॉल स्मॉल आर्टिशियंस है, कारागिरी के लोग जो है, हैंडीक्राफ्ट जो करते हैं, दे आर वेरी स्मॉल पीपल, दे डोंट हैव दैट मच फाइनेंस विद देम सो दैट दे कैन शोकेस देयर प्रोडक्ट और दे कैन एक्सटेंड देयर बिजनेस. सो ये जो मुद्रा बैंक है इट वॉज फॉर्म्ड ओनली फॉर दिस पर्पज़. जो जो बड़े बड़े जो बैंक्स है जो जो फाइनेंस प्रोवाइड करते हैं उनका जो फाइनेंस इनको प्रोवाइड करने का एजेंसी फंक्शन कौन करता है? दिस मुद्रा बैंक्स प्रोवाइड्स दिस support to this financial small micro units who needs financial support. Okay, then the last one is development bank. Now this development bank, there is a structure of this development bank. The first one is industrial development bank. Okay, it will support only the industrial development. Next one is Exim Bank. Exim Bank will develop the import export of our country. And Agricultural Development Bank. Okay, it will develop the agricultural sector of India. Now in Industrial Development Bank, they have all banks. Okay, the large scale large scale industry, that is IDBI, IFCI, ICICI and IRCI. Okay, these are the some of the banks. And small scale banks under the, which is SIDBI. Okay, Small Industrial Development Bank of India. Then you have at the state level, we have SFCs and CDICs and SHCS. Okay, and next is Exim Bank. Then you have Agricultural Development Bank. Under that you have All India के अंदर you have NABARD. Okay, state level के अंदर you have State Land Development Bank. And local level you have State Land Development Bank and branches of State Land Development Banks of India. Okay, so here this structure of Indian banking system is primarily aimed at development of that particular area. It can be industrial area, it can be agricultural area, or it can be import export. Okay, it operates at all India level. All India level में भी ऑपरेट करते हैं. जैसे कि इंडस्ट्रियल में ऑल इंडिया लेवल में कौन है, ये सारे बैंक्स हैं. इवन देर इज सिडबी. ओके, एट स्टेट लेवल वी हैव SFCs and all. And in agricultural at all India level we have NABARD. Okay, and state level there are State Development Bank of India, and even there are branches at the local level. Okay, so here this is the structure of in development banks in India. Okay, they operate at the all level and also at the state level and local level. So with this we complete our first chapter. So in our first chapter we have studied the meaning of banking system, origin of the word bank, then meaning and definitions of the bank, and in that we also learned the characteristics of the bank. Then we have learned the evolution of banking in different continents of the country. Okay, first we have seen evolution of banking in just a minute, in the world. Okay, in the world how banking came. So first we have seen Europe, then we have seen evolution of banking in USA, then we have seen evolution of banking in Asia, then we have seen evolution of banking in England, and lastly we have seen evolution of banking in India. Okay, हमारे इंडिया में कैसे आया. There are 7 stages for how modern banking came in India. Then we have seen structure of Indian banking system. Okay, and also we have seen some APEC institutions that operate in India, and also some developmental banks. Okay, so in this chapter we have learned so much. So now if a question comes for the exam, it will be for small questions, objective questions, and also there will be some questions which are big questions. Okay, so here the question can be like, for example, explain the evolution of banking of commercial banks in India and India. Okay, then state the origin of the word bank, explain the evolution of commercial banks in Asia, explain the evolution of commercial banks in Europe. Okay, explain the evolution of banking system in England. Okay, ऐसे आ सकता है. Then state the meaning of the bank, explain the structure of Indian banking system. Okay, write a short note on Apex banking institutions. ओके ये सारे क्वेश्चंस आप लोगों को एग्जाम में आ सकते हैं. सो in this chapter you all have learned basically the history of banking system in India. Okay, आप लोगों ने हिस्ट्री पढ़ा है, हमारे कंट्री का हिस्ट्री पास्ट में और प्रेजेंट में कैसा है, प्रेजेंट हाउ आवर कंट्री इज हैविंग द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ इंडियन बैंकिंग सिस्टम विल गिव यू एन आइडिया कि हमारे कंट्री में बैंकिंग सिस्टम कैसे ऑपरेट होता है एंड विच आर सम ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूशंस दैट ऑपरेट for the development of the particular areas in our country. In the next class we will be starting with the new chapter, that is functions of banks.